Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Brighton, Hove Albion versus Everton at the Amex Stadium. There you go. Monday. Monday, yay. An opportunity for Everton to win a game of football. It feels so long since Everton won a game of football.
Yeah.
It feels so long, but if we're going to do it, we're more likely to do it at an away ground than we are at Goodison Park, where basically forgotten what it feels like to win a game of football. And I totally forgotten what it feels like to win a game of football comfortably.
Yeah, that's not happened.
That doesn't happen.
Not happened.
But again, you know, Brighton be a tough game. They're in a little bit of form. I know they got beat by Manchester United at the weekend, but they are in a little bit of form. They started scoring goals, I think. I think that's the main thing. They've started. I think they've been playing well.
Yeah.
Or, you know, passing the ball around well. And when they came to Goodison Park, I thought they played well and put us under a lot of pressure in terms of ball retention. But recently, I think they've just started adding goals to the game. So, you know, this one's not to be taken lightly.
No, they're a good footballing side. Very good footballing side. But like you say, the final third, they're not great in. Of late, they've scored a few goals, which has got them points. But it is what it is with us, isn't it? We're better away from home.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. We've lost 3 away games all season. It was just for whatever reason, I still can't put my finger on it. We just seem to be a better side away than what we are at home. And I don't know, it's weird, but you've got more confidence going into it. Well, I certainly have got more confidence playing away from home than I have at Goodison. I don't know whether the players have got that. I don't know whether it's a mental block now where at home where it's like they feel under pressure because of the results have been so bad, whereas away it's like, well, we know what we've got to do, just keep these out there. Whether it's the fact it is the pressure of there's no emphasis on us whatsoever away from home, so we can just do our job and we score goals and stuff. Whereas at Goodison, internally, there's that pressure of where we should be the team that's on the front foot. I don't know whether it's that, but we're definitely being better away from home.
Yeah, this represents a good chance, actually, because I think all those factors you mentioned there play into an opportunity for 3 points. They like to keep the ball, which gives us the opportunity to sit back and soak up the pressure and try and hit them on the break. Like, 30%.
Yeah.
Like we did at Goodison Park almost, whereas at Goodison we did exactly the same. I think, certainly in the second half, we let them have a lot of the ball and then hit them on the counter-attack. And obviously that day, scoring 4 goals, and James Rodriguez obviously got a couple of goals that day. And it worked to a T, really.
Yeah.
And I just hoping we can have something similar on Monday because, again, this is another one, and we spoke about it, the Palace game. This is another one where, you know, you've got to be. You look at the league table and think if you've got anything about you, you've got to go to a Brighton and you've got to beat them. It's not even, you know, I know they've been playing better recently and picked up some results, but the simple fact is, it's not even a case of like if you want to. Games are running out now. We've got to start winning games. And whether it's this game or the Spurs game or the Arsenal game, we've got to start winning games. We need to win probably 5 games of the 9. So you look at this game and think, well, this has got to be 3 points. You've got to go there and do a job. You've got to be good in front of goal, make chances, and be good at the back. And we've seen that we can do that in away games. And it is that thing, like you just said, it's almost like that muscle memory of we've done this before, so therefore we can do it again. We do have that thing at home where it's the opposite, where it's the nerves start to whip. People start to, you know, if they get chances, they've missed chances, obviously, against Palace, and not making many chances. We're away, we've seemed to have a formula, and it's working. And hopefully it'll work on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, we were better against Palace. We had a lot of chances, and if we'd on another day, we'd have beat them comfortably. Because, you know, to miss 6 big chances in a game is quite difficult to do. But Everton managed it quite comfortably the other night. So, you know, hopefully we can. The manager said after the game that got to get those points somewhere else now. You know, we've blown the points tonight. We've got to make it up with winning somewhere else. So you look at the league, and Brighton are a good football side, but they're near the bottom of the table. And if you're trying to get into Europe and you're trying to get points, they're the teams you have to go to try to beat. And, you know, after that, we've got Arsenal and Tottenham, or Tottenham and Arsenal, and they're 2 teams that are around us, so they're difficult games as it is. So there's 9 games to go, and Everton have got to try and register 5-6 wins in them 9 games. It's going to be difficult, no question about it, but like we've said before, we seem to find more joy away from Goodison, so we've got to look at this game as a game that we can win. And the way Brighton set up as well, just wonder if Everton will set up similar to the way we did against Palace. Because Brighton play 3 at the back, and obviously Everton play 3 at the back the other day. If you have a look at Brighton's line-up from the last game out there, they a 3-4-1-2 really, which is something you spoke about with Everton maybe the other day. But they've got Sanchez in goal, and they've got a back 3: Ben White, Lewis Dunk, and Veltman. Pascal Gross, Lallana, Bissouma, who I know a lot of people like the look of, and Jacob Mulder, and then behind Trossard, behind Maupay, and Danny Welbeck, who has started to score goals now. Or certainly scored against United, didn't he, last week? So Everton might line up exactly the same way as we did against Palace, just so it's like for like with them. And we had hammers off Dom and Richarlison the other day, and it worked a treat for us. He was in the game, and I think he ended up with a 93% pass completion and created 2 chances and scored a goal. When he's in them areas, he's absolutely key. So it'll be interesting to see what the manager does, whether Ben Godfrey comes back in, because obviously Maupay is quite nippy, and got good movements, and whether Godfrey comes in instead of Michael Keane, you leave Mina in the middle, and you have Holgate either side. But I'd be leaving Coleman in, because I thought Coleman was very good the other day. And I think we said, didn't we, playing that way with the 3 allows Coleman to get up and down a bit more, because the emphasis isn't on him having to do 90-yard runs. He's starting higher up the pitch. So I think this could be a game that Everton just go like for like with Brighton.
I think Monday showed having that width on the right-hand side. We've been crying out for it. We've been talking about it all season in one way or another, one form or another, whether it's, whether it being somehow missing Seamus Coleman, or where Hammer's best position is, or whatever. The simple fact is, we need width on both sides, and it does. Alex Iwobi doesn't cut it. No. Simply the fact that he's not what we need. He's not a winger. He's someone who's a number 10 who plays out wide. Well, we've got one of them. We did have one of them in James Rodriguez. He played obviously central in Crystal Palace. We need width on both sides. We got to hit. You've seen the goal we scored. It starts on the left, and it's retained on the right. The ball back to James Rodriguez. We have to have width on both sides. It's got to be the number 1 priority for the summer, is getting someone from that right-hand side. And that's why Seamus Coleman now, and we bemoan the fact that he got took off in the game against Crystal Palace. For me, he went off far too early. But I would imagine the manager is thinking, I'm trying to manage him and make sure we can use him, because he really, and this is really poor on Everton's behalf, by the way, is that he's the only player who can play in that position. He's the only player who can offer width on the right-hand side. And that is really, really sad to say that. A club that's supposed to be trying to compete to get into Europe has one player who can play wide on the right, and it's Seamus Coleman, who's a right-back, and he's into his 30s. It's woeful. Yeah. So
poor management.
It is poor management.
I'm not leveling that at Carlo. I mean, overall.
Yeah, it is. It is poor management. Isn't it? It is poor management, poor recruitment. So we've got to manage them. I mean, as we've said a few times, and we've got 9 games to go. Only 2 of them will likely be 2 of them will be midweek games. The Villa game, Sheffield United game. The rest will be Saturday to Saturday. So, or week,
whatever it is.
A
week between them.
Monday to Friday. Actually, that's next week, isn't it? So, sure. He's got to be managed, because he is the only person, and we are, like any team, you've got to have different ways of playing. And what we were finding with Mason Holgate was, we were looking more solid, but we weren't getting up the pitch, and obviously with James Rodriguez out as well. And it was paying a detriment to Iwobi, who also needs someone going on the outside of him. That and he's got to play for me, and he's I think. If you've got 2 players on both sides, two wide men. Obviously, they're not wingers, but 2 wide men. It suddenly opens the pitch up, and it allows James Rodriguez then to be able to move around a little bit freer. And if that means playing 3 at the back, then we do that. And I think Ben Godfrey has to come out because I don't think Michael Keane can play in a 3. I don't think he's good enough to play in a 3. I think he likes to play in a 2. I think he likes to be in an old traditional way of playing, and he's a good defender in that. But I think once you start shaking her up and changing things, I think Michael Keane starts to look a little bit susceptible And I think it's probably one of the reasons why England have decided to drop him is because they want to play a 3. I think Ben Godfrey's more comfortable in that. I think he can get away with things because of his pace. Mason Holgate looks more comfortable. Yerry Mina's definitely I think he's clearly our best defender. Clearly our best defender. So that would be my starting 3. And I think if we've got Seamus on one side and Luca Dean on the other, we should have the ability to play it like we did the other night.
Definitely. I mean, if you look at Brighton's last 5 results now on the screen, lost 1-0 at West Brom, lost 2-1 at home to Leicester, but then they had that big win, late win at Southampton, they won 2-1, beat Newcastle at home 3-0, and then lost away at Manchester United. So, 2 wins and 3 defeats in the last 5 games, so it's one or the other with them. And I think for Everton, it represents a good opportunity to get, to go and get them 3 points and get some momentum ahead of the Spurs game. Like we said, it's not going to be easy. What I'd like to see, and the manager's kind of said that he expects Alan to be fit for the Brighton game. So what would you? I mean, I'd just put him in with Tom Davies, especially if we're playing 3, and you've got James Rodriguez in front. Then I think them 2, because the emphasis really for them will be busy, but make sure you're sitting. And we can get the rest of our players then we can almost have 5 in attack.
I think,
can't we?
I think they're the 2 I'd go for clearly because
Gomez looks like he'll probably be out.
Tom will sit. We know Tom will sit, and he can do that job, and there's not much more required of him then. And obviously we've seen in the game against Burnley that he wasn't playing in the sitting role. He was playing.
Yeah, he was the one.
It does. Listen, Tom Davies has got. He's a footballer who can do certain things, but he can't do certain other things. And I thought that night it caught him out a little bit. So for me, he sits, and it allows Alan then, or the 2 of them just sit and just take it in turns, and it'll be more Alan obviously, but that to me allows a lot more cover than having Gomez or obviously Gylfi Sigurdsson in there like we saw against Palace. I mean, don't forget for a large part of that game, for what? 70 minutes, 65 minutes of the game against Palace, the midfield was Tom Davies, Gylfi Sigurdsson and James Rodriguez as a 3, as a triangle. Almost, so defensively there was a lot on Tom
Davies, yeah.
And Seamus Coleman played his part in that, by the way, as well, coming in field at times. But for me it'd have to be Alan and Tom Davies and just let everyone else. Then Seamus Coleman can go, and Luca Dean can go further forward. James Rodriguez has got
you're almost having, it's almost 5 up front then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you get Seamus bombing on and Luca Dean bombing on, you've got James in the front suit, then you're covered. You're well covered at
and
the
also,
back. So, and we've got the pace of Godfrey.
But also, if you're playing counter-attack, which we most likely will be, then those 2 can just sit in front and just do their jobs and allow the other players to go forward lanes, and
nick the ball,
nick the ball, and that's what we did when we played them at home. We nicked the ball. Decore was brilliant that day. He nicked the ball quite high, and then we went, and we went so quickly, and obviously allowed us to get the third and fourth goals in the second half, and it really did play into our strengths that day. And I think we just need something similar. It'll be a difficult game because they do like to have the ball, and sometimes when you watch them, it is surprising. But you see the chances they missed. I watched bits of the West Brom game when they got beat 1-0, and some of the chances they missed.
2 penalties they missed that day as well.
Some of the opportunities they created.
Yeah.
And they do look like a team that, if they took the chances, could easily finish mid-table.
Easily.
Comfortably. Like a Crystal Palace kind of position, no problem. They're not a team that you look at and go, these are rubbish, or these are conceding loads of goals. They're not. They're not. They're just. The biggest problem is they don't score enough goals, but they don't have. Then the game becomes too open, and they allow the opposition to score.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. I mean, we're going there. Obviously, Brighton are unbeaten in the home 3 Premier League home games against Everton. In fact, we haven't won there since 1983.
Great.
The home team, the home side, have won 6 of the 7 meetings between these 2. Okay, I'm not going to say that one because I don't want to cry.
Obviously, the draw was when Wayne Rooney scored the penalty in the last minute.
And then Morales missed the sitter after it, if you remember. We should have really won it. Brighton have won 2 of their last 5 Premier League home games, as many as they had done in their previous 23. Which it proves, doesn't it? I mean, last season we were at Brighton. last season, wasn't it,
Yeah,
when we had
yeah.
Marco Silva?
Yeah.
And we were 2-1 up, and the game was comfortable.
Yeah.
It was easy for us, and then the referee gave a penalty that never was,
Yeah.
and we ended up losing a game that we should never have done. So, you know, that's
Luca Dean own goal, wasn't it?
own goal and
The
injury. Everton lost the last Premier League game, which was the away game to Chelsea, and it was the first ending a run of 9 games without defeat on the road, which it brought 7 wins and 2 draws, which is a great form, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brighton have dropped more points from winning positions than any other side in the Premier League. Just mad. Everton have scored a league high 12 header goals in the Premier League this season, while Brighton have conceded the highest proportion of header goals.
Crosses. Loads of crosses, loads of set pieces. Get the ball in the box, and hopefully one falls to Dom, and he takes his chance.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 14 goals, has been involved in more Premier League goals for Everton this season than James, who has 6 goals and 4 assists. However, 8 of those have come at Goodison Park. So, you know, and we know Danny Welbeck has been involved in more goals against Everton than any other Premier League team. So we'll have to watch out for him. But we said it before, and this is a game that that Everton would look at, or any team who was trying to get into Europe would look at a team at the bottom, regardless of how good or not they are, and just go, well, this is a game that we feel that we have to win. Because you said before, we're running out of games. It's all very well going, got loads of games though. If we win a few, now it's
game in hand.
Well, it is, but now it's like, got to start winning. If you don't win, if Everton don't win on Monday, you can forget Europe, totally and utterly, because it will be too much ground to make up. So go there, get a positive result, and then you start feeling confidence again, then ahead of Spurs at home and Arsenal away, and who knows if they could win the next. And we've done this before this season, by the way. We've had a run of losing games, and then all of a sudden we've won 4 on the run, and we've dragged ourselves back into it. If now's the time we could get a win and run together again, who knows where it could take us, but that's what we've got to do.
There you go. Don't forget, make sure to check out Toffee Picks. If you have already signed up, make sure you get your answers in ahead of this game. £500 prize pot, £250 to the winner. We had a winner last week. One person won £250, so well done to them. You just have to answer 12 questions on this game, what you think's going to happen. Dead easy. Go to toffeepicks.com. If you haven't signed up already, please do. There's a little notification in the corner over there. It'll be over there.
Hugh D, it was. Hugh D became the first out-and-out winner. 250 quid.
Thing in the corner over there. T's and C's applies. Don't forget, play responsibly. You must be over 18, but it is free. It is free. Don't forget that. So make sure you're playing there. There'll be a little thing in the corner, as I said. So make sure you play that. There'll be a link down here as well.
We're in it. We're playing it.
There'll be a link down here for our video where we play it and show you how you play it and show you what questions we got. Don't forget to give this video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're heading towards that 50,000 subscriber mark. Trying to get there. We've just passed 25 million views, so thank you for that. But now we're heading for the 50,000 subs. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And join us on Patreon for daily live videos and exclusive videos. See you later.